It was a video that brought a lot of joy to so many people around the world, and I don't know about you, I thought this was groundbreaking. It is, of course, the video to show the return back to public life in a very slow and, choreographed way of the Catherine, the Princess of Wales, alongside her husband, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, Prince William. And when you look at it, it got a lot of criticism. But as I told you before, the thing that I felt very badly about Catherine for was the fact that even the previous video, she was forced into that, for all thanks to the internet cranks who basically said some horrendous things about her disappearance. And as I also pointed out, in another world you wouldn't need to do that, it just wouldn't be that way. But this is the way that we're living now. However, this video is well received, great sort of plaudits, and some people not so. You expect that. This is what happens when you put yourself out there in the world of social media. But according to a very well-placed source, one that used to work inside and still does on occasions the Montecito mansion for Harry and Meghan, well, apparently Meghan is no fan of this particular video, and here's the reason why. Hi, good morning. Nice to see you. Thank you as ever for your time today. You all right? Look at this luscious greenery. This is what you get with all the rain, you see. Isn't it beautiful? Yes, but I prefer flowers. I know I know we like flowers, don't we? I like nice bold colours, Greenery's all very nice, but it's a bit jungle-esque, isn't it? And if you've got a hedge or you've got a big garden, gosh, they take a lot of looking after, don't they? All very well when you're a spring chicken, but when you have to get out there with a lawnmower of a certain age, it's not that easy. It's like a full day out there, isn't it? Battling the wild jungle, you know what I mean? Back as ever to your royal story of the day. Yes, this should have really, actually, when you think about it, been the sort of thing that, maybe Meghan and Harry should have aspired to. There you have a loving royal family featuring all of their three children in a very sort of uncalculated way. I did like the fact that everybody was picking up on Prince George's very British accent. Well, he is British, and that's the way they speak, and that's the way we should all really speak. It's correct English. But I thought it was lovely, the fact that they allowed us in, that close. But I knew exactly what Catherine and William were trying to do, which was to avail any worries, any fears about what people were saying, of course, about Catherine and indeed William and their personal life. We all know those stories too. But over in Montecito, apparently, you see, Meghan just points this out, that, while His Majesty the King, King Charles III, was very quick to point out that he loved and admired and really enjoyed watching the video and was heartwarmed by that, she knows that she wouldn't get the same response from him. And this is part and parcel of the problem, because she bites into this with, of course, her husband, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry. And her reasoning for this, according to that source, is simply this. You see, she truly believes that if they'd have made a very similar video, including their mysterious children, Harry's children, well, they would have still been blasted as exploitation. And what really was the difference between their Netflix video featuring their children and, more importantly, Catherine and William's? Well, one thing that springs to mind, mocking and a curtsy, number one. And number two, of course, the children were very much being paid for this, whereas the royal children inside the Prince and Princess of Wales video were there because they wanted to be there, and they knew exactly that they were on camera. But again, this is a sort of narrative that sadly is now being fed from that particular remit, as it were. This is the problem of Harry and Meghan. They always want to paint themselves as victims. Yes, people would give her some backlash, but the bottom line is, if she was to slowly, as that's been suggested by all the PR teams that she's paid heavily for over the years, slowly introduce just remnants, little bites of the children to make her seem a little bit more warm and more appealing, rather than dashing off for, fake royal tours around the world with no children, then she too might enjoy a warmer relationship. But as ever, according to that source, it just falls on deaf ears, and Prince Harry agrees. Exactly how do you move on from there? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.